hope you had a safe and fun Independence Day, 4th of July, and you've been having a safe and fun summer, and you've been reading with your children. I wanted to make this video. So recently I attended the art walk in Calexico the day before 4th of July. So the 3rd of July, I went to the Calexico art walk in Calexico, and it was a really great event. Shout out to Angela Esparza for doing that. It's the third art walk I've been to. Each one has gotten better. This one was amazing. I even put on Facebook, hey, great event. You know, they keep getting better. And then someone commented, like, oh, such a politician, Gil, saying everything's okay. I'm like, it was a great event, and it's been better than the previous two. There's nothing political about that statement, but that's Facebook for you. But no, it was great. I thought felt like a festival. It had the stage, it had the area, it had the vendors, community, thousands of people, hundreds of vendors. It's community right there. That is community. Also, this fireworks show. The fireworks were also amazing. You saw. So we were celebrating on the Grand Plaza, at the Grand Plaza on the American side in Calexico, and then in Mexicali, in Mexico, they lit the fireworks to show like our sister city partnership, which I thought was funny. Like, that's such an American thing to have. America would be the sister that would be partying, and then have the other sister light the extremely dangerous fireworks. That's just it was great though. It was a great show. But also, what I think amazed me the most were the artists and the vendors. The vendors were artists, essentially. So when I say artists, I don't mean just people that are putting ink to canvas or pencil to paper. Also the food vendors who were making homemade food right there for the masses. And also they had local craft brewery. Calexico Brewery was there. I didn't partake. I don't. But they had a long line. And that's an art. You know, you think, oh, it's just making beer. But you make beer and have someone line up for it. Strangers line up for it. That's an art. You know, that's an art that they are doing. And I thought it was great. I thought it was great to see all that. Local people providing local things for the community. And so, but one thing about the artists now, the artists that were draw and paint and were there selling their items, but there's some qualities in them that I thought were exceptional, that are vital. And one, the artists, they were bold. To put themselves out there, to be that takes a certain kind of boldness to just boom, sit down and present your creation. Their messages were clear, so when you saw their work, you knew what the point they were trying to get across. Some were political, but others, like Fernando Ressa, some of his pieces, the message was the Imperial Valley. He had some profiles of El Centro icons, of certain people from El Centro that everyone can recognize, and the message was El Centro. And they had one profile of Lefty. I don't know if you remember, people from El Centro remember a man named Lefty from Costco. He had a profile of him, a side profile drawing. And I showed that to someone, and they said they cried. They got so touched by it. And so, I mean, that's the message they were conveying, was El Centro, community, the valley. And it got across. And going back to being bold, they were each bold in their own unique style, in their own unique way. You know, some of the styles, some of the artists there, I didn't like their work. That's just art. What I don't like, someone else may like. You know, what I like, someone else may not like. Right? Doesn't make it good or bad. It's just not my style. But each one had their own unique. Every artist there had their own unique style. You saw their work. You didn't see that kind of work anywhere else. So they're bold and unique. They got their message across clearly, and also they laid it all out there, raw and vulnerable. Just, here is my work that I created, for you to judge. That transparency. So they're bold, unique, got their message across, and we're transparent. You know who else should have those traits and qualities? Our local elected officials, our politicians. Shouldn't they not be bold? Shouldn't they not communicate clearly? Shouldn't they not be transparent? But they're not. We're not. They're not. I think I am, but the majority, I think, of our local politicians are not. But something like the Calexico Art Walk, that's building a community, and that's indirectly finding our leaders. It's going to be exciting to see the future of Calexico. Because out of those thousands of people in attendance on Wednesday night, say 6 of them become future leaders. Because out of all those people in attendance, you're going to get a handful of leaders. And say 6 of them become leaders in the community. Divide that up between the local boards there. You got 3 on city council, 3 on school board. Boom. Changing it up, changing the game. 2 on school board, 2 on city council, 2 on Heffernan. Boom. You're almost there. So it's exciting. It's going to be exciting to see Calexico progressing towards the future and the leaders that Angel Esparza is helping to cultivate. Because that's what that was. That's finding leaders. That's inspiring your community to take charge and make a difference. And I hope those in attendance there do run. Eventually, not just run, but become leaders and run for a position of influence and authority. And I think right now is the time. I think if you are considering running for anything, I think the valley is on the precipice of change, of progress. I think it's ready for a new wave of leaders to rise up and take charge and make their impact. And the time is right now. And I think if you want to get involved and you want to run, you should run. I think to make the biggest impact in your community in an elected seat position is on our school boards. And you might think, Gil, well, you're on a school board, you're being biased. Well, yeah, but no, and that's why I see it, and that's why I believe school boards are where it's at. Now, they don't get the recognition as city council, county supervisor, or Imperial Irrigation District director. But if you really want to make an impact and really get a pulse for the community, it's on our school boards. I'll tell you what. You're not going to get a sense of community, of the pulse, a feel for the community as a county supervisor or an ID director. How? Tell me how. Tell me when you serve the entire, from end to end of the county of the Imperial Valley, where's the community at? Where does it start? You're serving such a wide area, it's almost impossible. City council, maybe, but we get property owners, potholes, people complain about potholes, taxpayers, property rates, finance director giving you a report. How do you get a feel for the community even on a city council? But a school board, schools are their own little communities in themselves, and so whatever happens there is pretty much, I think, an indication of what's going on outside those school walls. As a school board member, like I said, you might be tasked with having to deal with, say, a week of fights break out in your school, just violence within your school in 1 week. You have to figure it out. Why did this happen? How can we prevent it? Because it didn't happen in the school. It happened outside where things were bubbling. And it just kind of funneled into your school and popped off. And you got to figure it out. And that involves looking outside the schools and the community and seeing what's going on out here. So it doesn't funnel into here. Because that's what happened. Things popped off out here and they're fine because it's all spread out. But once you funnel it into the school, into the smaller community, it just pop. And you get a week of violence. You have to figure it out. As a school board member, you'll be tasked with dealing with expulsions Where on paper you think, oh, this student did this and that, get them out. But then you start diving into it, again, the context, and the history, and the background of these students. And you start seeing similar household demographics. You start diving into those, and you see what some of these students have gone through, and the trauma they face, and all happening within our community. Brawley, for example, is what, 2 miles wide? So I see these things sometimes. I think a student is going through this in their home. A student has gone through this in their life, and this is happening less than 2 miles from you. And so you start to get, like I said, you start to get to feel the real issues. What people are really going through, what our children are going through, what the future of our community is going through, and how do we prevent it? How do we address the core? So yeah, I think the biggest impact that you can make on your community is on the board that is most overlooked, and that's our school boards. So if you want to run, I want to see a diverse slate of people running for not just school boards, but every position this in 2020. You can do it. The game's changed. You can do it little money. You can do it grassroots, door to door. You can just get a couple yard signs, a couple door hangers, and your cards, and you're good. The days of having to spend lots of money, I believe, are over. If you really want to work hard. It's unfortunate that some of these are elections. People see them as nothing but profit. They don't care where you stand, but if you're going to pay them so they can talk to this certain group of people or put certain signs here, they'll do it. They don't care where you stand or what you're about, as long as you got the money. That's one thing about me. Listen, I've gone full on for some of these candidates, not because they support them. They didn't support me, not because of financial reasons, but because I truly believed in them, and I was going to go all out for what I believe they represented. And to be honest, I've probably been wrong on some of them. That's a game. But at the time, I thought they were the best choice. And that's what I truly believe, and I will continue to be like that. You can't buy me out. Privilege, right? I'm not seen as some privileged West Side kid. How are you going to buy me out? I want the best. I want the best for our community. Even in going back, if you're going to run for any position, whether it's school board, especially if you're going to run for school board, your goal should be to have the best schools in the valley. Period. Best schools around. Period. Not only on the human aspect of just bettering our students' chances at success, but also you can look at the economic perspective in that you have the best. As a parent, we're going to do whatever we want. We're going to do what's best for our kids. And if we hear that a city has the best schools around, we'll take them. We'll take them. So if the Valley, Brawley starts getting a reputation as the best schools, I wouldn't doubt we'd see people moving in. And we start changing around and building up that culture. So, that's this. And being on a local level, you can put politics aside. Now, some of these national level issues, yeah, it's right, left, conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican. But when it comes to the community, politics more than likely goes to the side. Because even if you're politically opposed, but you both have an equal amount of care for the community, you're going to meet that middle ground or maybe compromise. And at the end, whatever result it is, whatever you lean that way, or whoever gets the better of this debate, discussion, at the end, if you both care for the community, the people will win. And it'll only benefit the community. So, it all starts. I'm tired. Honestly, I'm just tired of people quickly post about Trump, Obama, Pelosi, Schumer. It's like, well, what about your community? What about what's happening next door to you? What about what's happening in your own neighborhood? What are you doing to address those concerns? Listen, there's millions of other people that are going to focus on these national issues. But in your community, you might be the only one. So, it's important to become aware, to become engaged, and run. I just want people to run for anything. I want people to run here and now. Here and now. Just run. Run for something. If you really want to make an impact in your community, run. Do it for your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew, yourself, your neighbor, your mom, your dad, your grandpa. Just run. Just run. Be the voice that you want to see representing you on that board. Be the voice representing your community. Be the advocate. Be the leader. Right now is the time. I think if you really want to be a part of something, I don't know what's building here, but something's building in this valley. You're seeing it. And now's a chance to be a part of it. We've got things are popping here. And we got to ride this wave. We got to ride this wave and start making real progress towards the future. Like, the valley has so much potential. It's just going to take us to rise up here and now. Here and now. It's easy. If you want help, I'll be more than happy to help you. The school board, you just need to fill out some paperwork, sign a few things, and you're in. You're a candidate. You're an official candidate. I did the last day to turn in the paperwork. I filled it out and turned it in that same day. So, let's do it. Let's make this valley live up to its ideals. So when people talk about the valley, it's not a negative connotation. It's in a positive light. The way they see Andy Reese become the heavyweight champion, we can. If someone from Imperial can become the heavyweight champion of the world, hey, anything is possible. It just takes the initiative to just say, you know what, I'm going to make a difference here and now. So let's do it. Run for something, anything. And we can make this place really amazing.